Yeah, just a really important day for us to continue to try to take steps in our football. Look at the fundamentals, and it's across the board. It's the execution. It's the little things. I thought we took a great step during the week in the timing and rhythm of our passes, offensively and defensively in the matches. Still got a couple of plays that got away from us in the pass game from a defensive standpoint. The run game, we know we have to continue to just screw down in our concepts and play team football to figure out, a way to just, put our best foot forward so that we can get teams off the field and continue to flip it there. We had a better day third down wise. Penalties put us into some rough spots. We were 0 for 4, 3rd and 10 plus. Those are really difficult situations to live in. When we were in 3rd and 9 or less, we went 5 of 7, I believe. And that's the world we want to live in so that we can continue to play our style of football. Special teams wise, I thought we covered the kicks great. We had the block, in a critical situation. It really, changed the face of that game in that spot right there, and then of course just bringing it down to a 1-score game right there and running the ball all the way down in there. We got to be able to finish. Andy threw the interception on that play. There were some choices to be made right there, to just continue to keep playing football, and that goes across the board. Just, guys, we just got to continue to just tighten up the ball security. We didn't lose any fumbles, but there were a few on the ground. That's something that's like high alert for all of us as coaches, and so we went right there to the basics of it today. And looking forward to just getting back, taking on the Commanders, and focusing on our fundamentals.
Dave, obviously it's Monday, so there are a lot of injury updates. I was wondering if I could ask you about a few of them.
Yeah.
Jonathan Brooks, Dane Jackson, DJ Wanham, Clowney, Tremble, Cromedy, and Franklin. Or you want to go one by one?
So Jonathan Brooks, he's checked all the boxes in terms of his getting back to being able to practice. So we're hoping to open up that window today. That's a decision we're going to have to make today. So we're going to be talking about that, and we have been. But excited to potentially get him out there and see what he looks like. Let's see, Dane Jackson has put 2 fantastic weeks together. So this is a real big time. Again, a lot of these decisions happen in the next day or two for us to make those decisions. But he's looked great. And to see if there's a chance that he can help us in some way, shape, or form. Sam Franklin has been cleared to come back to practice, so we're excited to get him back out there. But again, football shape, right? The football movements, being out there and doing all those things. So I'm excited to see Sam back out there. Jaden Cromedy, again, just still in the return to play type of mode right now. So that's where he'll be at. And then anybody else I missed? Wanham's coming along. Again, this is another important week. He still has to finish that last stage. He's kind of been right there. So we're waiting to just see all that come together before we put him back out on the field to see him practice. Jadeveon will be day-to-day, and we had great talks with him this weekend, just kind of moving him around, throughout the whole weekend to kind of see where he's at. And so we're going to, again, just kind of test him and be day-to-day on that, just seeing what we can get him. And again, for Jadeveon, we'll take whatever percentage of JD that we can get to get him out there, because he certainly is a help in all phases.
The offensive line didn't allow a sack. You guys averaged about 4.8 yards per run. What was your takeaway from the way that Brady and Josh played when you watched the film?
Yeah, we had a couple of things where we weren't on the same page early. We settled in, came out of the half, and really just played good football from then on out. And I thought they did a great job. We were depending on those guys. They stepped up to the challenge and played really well against a good front.
Dave, I guess one thing you got to cut down is the self-inflicted errors. I mean, the 3 false starts, a snap, a miscommunication, there are all sorts of little things in there that just are kind of hidden yardage. I mean, what do you kind of tell the guys when you're going through all that?
Absolutely, and that's just the ownership of the details, right? And those are the things that I love to talk about, because those are what we can focus on, is where are the breakdowns at, where's the miscommunication, where's the confusion happening, and can we get on the same page about all these things? Are we doing too much as coaches? We always have to ask ourselves. They're just showing us, what we can handle and what we can execute. And then the players have to be really honest about, guys, we do these plays all the time. We have these shifts in motions. Let's be crisp on those things. And false starts is just a focus thing, so it's just a matter of being able to settle in and play our type of ball, but it makes it harder. And we overcame some pretty difficult situations offensively, early on in the first half with some of the penalties, but you can't expect to consistently overcome those. Let's give ourselves a chance. Pre-snap perfection is what our goal has been, and we got to make sure that we get back to that.
We've seen Chuba on the field production and what he's done.
Yeah.
What's the behind the scenes thing we haven't seen that shows his leadership and the ways he stepped up?
It's just the way that he comes to work every day with the focus and mentality to get better. He truly has that mentality that I love, that I wish we can all grow to as a group. Is today is a day where I get to improve, and he improves every day in practice, game to game, in the different ways he presses runs or picks up protections or runs certain routes. He's in this relentless pursuit to find his best, and that's the leadership that we need, is guys that exemplify the way they take care of their bodies, the way they prepare mentally to take on these practices, how critical the walkthroughs and everything, just the focus and intentionality it requires to be a professional. We're not asking too much about the whole group, and Chuba definitely is standing in for the message for the whole group of how we approach every day.
Dave, when you guys drafted Jonathan, you and Dan, one or both of you said you'd hope to be ready for the start of training camp.
Yeah.
What happened with that timeline, and just could you take us through that?
Yeah, we just had to take it in stride based on where he was at in his body readiness and his movements, and again, those phases that you got to go through. And we just didn't feel like he was ready to clear some of those early stages, so we just had to keep doing the smartest thing for Jonathan first and foremost, and then think about the team and where he fits into the whole picture, So we just kind of took it that way, and we were really, intentional, really engaged with Andrew Altoff and Kevin. We were all together just kind of talking through this whole process to get him to this point where we could feel good about it.
And on the topic of where he fits, you've got Chuba playing well. Miles is kind of a change of pace guy. Where does Jonathan fit?
We'll have to see that. We'll have to see that come to life and see what he looks like in practice.
Dave, at wide receiver, we've seen Jalen Coker's reps go up and Jonathan Mingo's go down. What have you seen from both of those guys, and how can they solidify their role even before Adam gets back?
Yeah, just consistent effort, consistently working hard to try to improve their game. You saw Jalen make some plays again. Mingo was a critical part of what we were doing. So both guys just knowing that we're asking you to take on a role to help the Panthers win, and they've both taken to that.
Dave, we've seen Trevon, make plays, make a lot of tackles. What are you seeing from him in terms of retaining the mental part of that position?
Yeah, that's the challenging part, and he's been a stud about it, and the great thing that our defensive staff does is we present the issues to our defense on a daily basis so that the players have to work through those things, the calls, the situational awareness. I love the way we format all those things so that his education is throughout the week and also on Sundays, right? The invaluable game day reps and how things flow. So he's been a stud about it. He just fully immersed, fully engaged in what we're doing and playing really hard.
Dave, another injury guy, Taylor Moton, what's his status going into this week?
Yeah, it's day to day. So, we just got to continue to get the strength back in that tricep and keep pushing and pulling on things to the point where we feel confident about getting back in there.
On draft day, the feeling was that Brooks was the future for you guys at running back. Chuba obviously is the present right now. How does that figure in to your thinking? So let's say a team were to come in and offer you guys something for Chuba before the trade deadline, and you got Brooks is going to be long term. So how does all that work?
Again, we just got to get Jonathan out there, see where he's at, take a good evaluation of him playing football, moving around with confidence, and then we'll make those decisions.
With making the decision on Jonathan today, what would preclude you from giving it the thumbs up? It sounds like you're pretty confident.
Yeah, it's just all of us putting our heads together and making sure we feel fully confident, especially coming off the nature of an injury like this, that he gets out there and he can go for it, and give us a look at what he's going to be like.
Is part of the hesitation that if you open the window too soon and he doesn't return to the game, then he's out all year?
All those factors, we have to make sure we do the right thing for now, for the future, all those things. And these are all difficult decisions, my first time really going through it as a head coach. So we have to take all the information. Dan, Brandt, and I talk to the the training staff and make sure that we're putting them in the best spot.
Could you just sort of remind us what you guys saw in him before the draft and, why you guys wanted to take him?
Yeah, explosive ability, combination of size and speed, body control, I thought was really rare for what we've seen, in the past couple of years. a really fluid catcher out of the backfield, the ability to hit the home run, to take it the distance, and a natural patience in his run style. So he has a combination of a lot of great traits that you hope for.
Everybody good? All right. Thank you,
Good.
Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you.